Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is all about drying out my milk supply. If you're currently trying to wean your body from making milk, this is definitely the video for you. If you are not and you're trying to build a supply, this is not the video for you. So click out of here. Let me start by saying a little background of why I am quitting. If you haven't seen my breastfeeding and pumping journey, I will put it in the cards above. But I am currently quitting. I am trying to dry up my supply as of last week. I started last Friday. Anthony is getting a new job and I cannot take care of two little ones and try to pump at the same time because, let's be honest, it's rough. I do not have a portable pump. I have the Modelo pumping style and I have to sit and pump on the couch. Like, I don't have much mobility with that, so I can't do it with two kids in the morning, especially before school and work. So I am quitting, and that is the reason why. I do have a huge milk stash still in my basement, so I am gonna go through that and hopefully I can make it to his 1 year mark. But yeah, I have made it to his 8-month mark, which I am extremely proud of. Let me explain how I started to wean my body, which I didn't know how to do. I've Googled this a couple times and I have reached out to people on Instagram to ask, and a lot of people just don't know the answers to these things. And a lot of other people also say that it takes a couple months to wean your body off of milk. So take that into consideration. So if you want to stop pumping at a certain time, like you want to stop at the 1 year mark, make sure you start a couple months in advance so you can wean your body off of it. I did not know this beforehand and I have limited time to stop pumping. So Anthony starts next Wednesday. So I kind of need to like get my body to stop pumping in the morning. So I basically one day was like, okay, I need to quit because Anthony is now getting this job. So I started on a Friday, last Friday to be exact. I said, yes, this is my last full day of pumping. The next day I got up and pumped in the morning, and then I tried to basically quit cold turkey. I wasn't pumping as much and I wasn't pumping all of the milk out. And then I also bought cabbage to see if that worked, because a lot of people are like, yeah, you should try cabbage and put cabbage in there to dry it up. Myth, total myth. I was using cabbage and I was waiting a long time, but then I realized like I cannot do that. My breasts were getting really hard and it really hurt and it's uncomfortable, to be completely honest. It's very uncomfortable to prolong, because I was pumping every 3 hours, to prolong it longer than 5 hours. So at the 5 hour mark, I was basically like, okay, I have to pump. So I decided to ask Instagram on how to do this, and I had a couple of people message me, but I have a really good friend that knows and has been through this herself, and she gave me a lot of advice, so I took it. So on Monday when I went back to work, I was doing my normal routine, but I was only pumping half of the milk out. So I was going 3 times, but only pumping the half of the milk out. So that really helped, to be honest. Yeah, it really hurts. So when I pump usually every 3 hours, I'm not full. I just do it to like get the milk. I'm not full. There's milk in there, but it's not full, so it usually doesn't bother me. But because I was only pumping half of the milk out and I was still pumping every 3 hours, it really hurt. I was full and I had to go every 3 hours to get half of the relief that I needed. First tip is to only pump for relief. You're not pumping all of the milk out, you're just pumping to the point where you will not cause any damage. And by damage, I mean engorgement. So you just want to pump to relieve the pain, and then that's the end of it. And then this is my second tip. I started to slowly wean my body to making it to longer periods of time. So the first couple days I could only make it 3 hours after only pumping half. So then I did that for 2 days, and then the next day I prolonged it an hour. So I usually go pump at 9:30. I pushed it to 10:30, and then I pushed my 12:30 to 1:30, and then I pushed my 3:30 to 4:30. So I basically pushed all of them back. A day after that, I dropped a session because my body was already getting used to prolonging it. So I basically dropped a whole session in between. I was only going at 10:30 and 3 o'clock. And then on Friday, I completely missed my 3 o'clock. I went at 10:30 and then didn't pump again until around 7. So I prolonged my pumping really long. So I pumped in the morning, and then I pumped at 6 a.m., pumped at 10:30, and then I pumped at 7 p.m. So I really was able to stretch it without it hurting. By 7 o'clock I was very full, so I had to express some of that out. I do want to say, as the week goes on, it doesn't hurt as much, and you're not going to get as much milk. I seen a major drop in my supply within the last week. I used to get about 44 ounces every day, and now I'm only getting about 12. So I used to get 14 in the morning and then 8 ounces during my work schedule, and then I would get 6 right before going to bed. And then now I get like 6, between 7 to 4 ounces, and that's about it each session. But yeah, last night I pumped at 7, and then I didn't pump until 11 o'clock this morning, so I went like 16 hours without pumping, and then I haven't pumped yet. So it's now 8 o'clock and I haven't pumped. So I mean, I'm starting to feel it, which is okay. I'm not hurting, but I'm down to 2 pumps a day. So I am extremely happy with how it's going, and I'm still not getting as much milk as I used to. So now I'm pooling milk and thawing that out. So I am doing that. I'm currently using my stash. So back to the cabbage. I was using the cabbage every day, every single time I pumped, or like, you know, as needed. I would change out the cabbage and put it back in, and that cabbage just made it worse. I feel like it was drawing out my milk, and it made me more full. So when I stopped using the cabbage, my boobs were not filling up as fast. I don't know what was going on, but I was getting more milk with the cabbage than without the cabbage. So I stopped using that. That was just like a waste. I do want to say that it helped with the coldness. Like, it offered some relief because I left it in the fridge for like the pain. But other than that, it was just whatever. I do recommend taking ibuprofen as needed for pain, taking hot showers to get rid of some of the milk, and ice packs to help with the pain as well. I put my Modelo pumping style away. It's downstairs. It's gone. I do not use it anymore. I have used my hand pump. So this is the only thing that's been expressing my milk. Or I use my hand because it's really easy to do that once you are full. So I hand express sometimes, and sometimes I just pump. And I've gone from going 30-minute sessions where I need to pump 15 minutes on each side to about 15 minutes on both sides. So it takes me half the time to pump, and I'm only getting 4 to 7 ounces every time, like I said, and it's getting smaller and smaller as I'm going. Let me recap my tips real quick. You only want to pump to relieve your breast. You do not want to pump all the way. Number 2, you want to stretch your pumping sessions. Stretch it 30 minutes, stretch it an hour, and then later on you want to completely eliminate one session at a time. So you want to go from your normal schedule, stretching those sessions, and then you want to eliminate one session to begin with. So like I said, I was pumping 5 times a day, and then I stretched it to 4 times a day, and now I'm down to 2 times a day because I went to 3 and now I'm down to 2. So you want to make sure that you're stretching them, and you make sure you're taking longer periods of times in between each session, and work at your own pace. Because I did it in a week does not mean it should hit you in a week. My friend said it took about a month for her to wean her body off, and I've also talked to a couple people who've already started doing it, and they have like 2 more months of breastfeeding. So take your time, do it as often as you need. There is no rush to stop pumping. I only did it this fast because I kind of like didn't know what I was doing. Now I know for next time I will not rush my body into completely quitting. I will take my time and do it the way I need to do it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope I was able to help somebody dry up their supply. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe if you haven't already, and follow me on Instagram. It's always linked down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.